The CBI's own circulars still anchor the system to the current peg regime with a published official sell cap around 1320 dinars per dollar, which is functionally consistent with the 1300 official rate first adopted in early 2023 and reiterated across recent rate lists and guidance. This is the baseline that governs banks and licensed financial institutions, and it is the opposite of a stealth RV because an RV, by definition, would show up first and foremost in CBI communiques and tables, not in leaked snapshots from branch monitors at a foreign bank. When you see social posts or videos claiming a sudden jump at Chase or on a TV ticker, those are not policy sources, they're unverified third-party chatter, and their most recent pieces circulating originate from YouTube channels that do not cite any CBI Resolution Council of Ministers decree or gazetted change in the exchange regime, and the presence of such videos is itself evidence of rumor rather than confirmation. Because if a revaluation were real, you would see it first on the CBI site, then cascade through Reuters, Bloomberg, and the Iraqi press, and then into Bankrate engines weeks or days later. But what we actually see are YouTube thumbnails and headlines such as claims that exchanges start at Chase on a given date which have no accompanying regulatory document numbers or CBI board decisions. Meanwhile, the market context inside Iraq looks like a textbook managed peg with a parallel market spread that widens and narrows depending on compliance pressure, dollar supply flows, and trade documentation. Frictions in Baghdad and Erbil, the cash market has been printing values in the neighborhood of 139,000 to 149,000 dinars per $100 over the last several months. That is about $13.90 to $14.90 per dollar in street terms, which confirms that there has been no discrete step change like an RV. Instead, it has been the usual oscillation around the peg with periodic squeezes and relief rallies, as CBI and US counterpart rules for dollar access tighten or loosen. This picture is corroborated by day-to-day reads from Iraqi outlets that survey Al-Kifa and Al-Harithiyah, and from roundups that publish snapshot tables showing the street premium to the official 1320 band. Your first bullet about a parliamentary finance warning of a dinar collapse is best understood as an old headline resurfacing rather than a fresh 2025 event. The phrasing about collapse due to government confusion matches a June 2021 Shafak item, and while committee members still warn in 2025 about liquidity and budget execution risks, those are fiscal governance signals, not a covert currency reset. The current finance committee commentary focuses on the inability to submit or pass the 2025 budget tables and on oil price assumptions and deficits, none of which equals a CBI decision to dramatically reprice the dinar upward or downward. These are important macro constraints, but they do not constitute an RV. Hey, welcome back to my channel. Iraqi Dinar News Update, status of the RV. Today, I also want to remind you of the past articles and news I have presented to you. All the good news does not get wiped out. We must learn the truth, like it or not. Remember all the good praise and positivity that the World Bank, IMF, and the UN have made about the reforms and the stability now in Iraq. We have never seen such progress and stability before. So, just like you, I sit here writing this newsletter today and wonder where the hell is the reinstatement. We were told in many articles by the central bank that they needed stability and security. Remember that the US has given its permission to move to the next step. However, there are certain events that must first take place. I have listed a series of events that we were told to look for, but not out of own personal speculation, but from the US government itself. These events are now my concentration. I will continue my concentration until something changes to make me believe otherwise. God tells us every day through his prophecies not to give up hope. So, today I am presented the next set of issue as I see facing Iraq. Will these be the last prior to the RV? The important part is the criticality of these issues. Are they really needed for the IMF to reinstate the dinar? 1. It's time to clean up this array of private banks in Iraq. This has been a CBI goal all along, only now they are finally getting to it done. It's all good. Remember, one step at a time. They must adhere to the liquidity and inclusion policies of the central bank, or else they will be dissolved. Please see articles titled IMF Pushes Reform of Iraq's Banking System. A new report from the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has said that the restructuring of state-owned banks, SOBs, can foster the development of the private sector and improve growth. Also, read the banking reform paper. Al-Sudani directs the opening of a dialogue between the central bank and banks, especially private ones, and then a comprehensive reform project for the private banking sector. With the full support of the government and in cooperation with Oliver Wyman Consulting Company. The Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, today unveiled reform plans aimed at modernizing the Iraqi private banking sector to the expulsion of the PMF from Iraq. This is not an option but a demand by the US. There will be severe consequences if Iraq falls as a puppet state to Iran. Please go peek at the article titled, Al-Maliki to Khamenei's advisor, there is an American intention to disarm the popular mobilization forces and other factions, and we will confront it. This article could not make it any clearer why Nouri al-Maliki must go. He is disruptive to the real goals of Iraq, and it is obvious his is pro-Iranian. Shiite preferences take priority over Shiite Iraq. The reform document is a strategic step to enhance confidence in the banking system. The reform document is a strategic step to enhance confidence in the banking system. The governor of the central bank, Dr. Ali Al-Alak, emphasized that the 2025 banking reform document represents a strategic and fundamental step toward reforming the Iraqi banking system, addressing its shortcomings, and preparing it to operate in accordance with internationally recognized standards. This will enhance the confidence of correspondent banks and global financial institutions and protect it from the risks of international sanctions. This came in a statement to Al-Sabah during a session attended by the Baghdad Council for Digital Transformation and Electronic Payments and a number of relevant figures. Al-Alak explained that the document can be described as a mirror of the banking system's reality, clearly revealing its strengths and weaknesses and laying out a practical path to address them, particularly for banks currently moving towards adopting international standards. This, he explained, sends a positive message to the global banking system. Al-Alak pointed out that the central bank is currently developing a larger technology plan extending through 2028. This plan will contribute to advancing the banking sector and enhancing its capabilities, enabling it to offer banking products and services that meet international standards. International partnerships. The central bank governor explained that building a robust national banking system requires genuine partnerships with major international banks, whose assets amount to between $300 and $400 billion. These institutions only deal with banks that adhere to strict international standards and do not expose themselves to the risk of dealing with banks that do not meet approved conditions. He explained that the 2025 banking reform document addresses a major flaw facing the banking system and aims to build an integrated banking system that strictly implements laws and regulations, ensuring the safety and stability of banking operations and protecting the national economy from any negative repercussions of sanctions or disruptions to international transactions. Global partners. Al-Alak pointed out that the central bank selected the prestigious international company, Oliver and Wyman, to implement the reform project, citing its successful experience in several countries, including the United Arab Emirates. He explained that the company began operating in Iraq over a year ago, collecting detailed data and information on the operations of banks with the aim of charting a reform path consistent with local laws and the Iraqi banking environment, and one that is practically applicable. He added that Oliver Wyman will work to return the sanctioned banks to normal operations after correcting their course and complying with the document's requirements, thus restoring the confidence of their international partners.